So, No Frills released an album on vinyl. If you're Canadian, you might be thinking, wait, what? If you're not Canadian, you might be thinking, who the hell is No Frills? Welcome to Popcorn and Vinyl, the show dedicated to films, film score, and vinyl. Today's episode is a bit of a rare departure from the usual types of videos covering soundtracks, but this record was so interesting I couldn't help myself covering it, so maybe you're intrigued enough to stick around if you're a normal viewer of the show. So this is a real hip-hop record released by No Frills. Now before I get into the album, I feel like I should explain to non-Canadians who No Frills is, and why this album is interesting. You might be thinking, well, No Frills, that's an interesting band name, right? Well, No Frills is a Canadian discount grocery store chain. This discount grocery store chain released a 13-track album all about the joy of haulin. The album is called Haulin State of Mind. Haulin is a term that their marketing department coined to describe the joy of buying a lot of things for not a very large amount of money. So to give you more background on No Frills, so in terms of their entire branding, it really is all about no frills. The stores are very plain, everything is just kind of yellow and black. The stores themselves, they're just big yellow boxes with aisles. There's not any fancy decorations. Long before plastic bags were an issue, they didn't even offer plastic bags. They would just have piles of boxes at the front of the store that people would pack their groceries into. So really it was all about saving money. But it was the lack of these frills that did allow them to have these low prices, thus making me a very proud hauler for a very long time. So the other interesting part about this store chain is they have a private label brand that they call No Name. And most people just kind of casually in conversation call an off-brand or a private label brand a No Name brand. So they took that and made a brand out of it. Again, staying true to their No Frills branding, their packaging typically is just a yellow box with plain black writing, which is just a description of the item. And over the years, they've had kind of various campaigns that have sort of poked fun at the simplicity of that branding and been very sort of self-aware with the simplicity of a no-name brand. I think their marketing is brilliant, and my main day job is in marketing, and I know what goes into these campaigns, and what they've been able to achieve as a brand is actually truly impressive. And the fact that they're doing these kind of, call them gimmicks, are hilarious, but also incredibly effective at garnering attention. One of the awesome things that they did is when the COVID lockdowns first started, and obviously people were doing Zoom meetings, they released a Zoom background with their branding that's kind of in the same style as the rest of their packaging, which of course I downloaded and used in team meetings. They released a song called A Cart Apart, which is kind of a tongue-in-cheek play on social distancing, which apparently they've played in their stores, and it's just one of the songs on this album. Over the last few years, their marketing has gotten even more elaborate. And again, I appreciate kind of the creativity that has gone into injecting some fun into mundane everyday things like groceries. As part of the TV campaign for hauling, they've released TV spots, they've released limited edition merchandise. There was a t-shirt that I'm kicking myself for not ordering. I really wish I got this shirt. Man, I hope they release some more of these, because I will definitely buy one of those, because I'm suckered into these kind of ridiculous marketing things. When I saw the album described as a non-Juno nominated album, I lost it. And the Juno is essentially like a Canadian Grammy. So this has been a brilliant marketing campaign that's been going on for the last year, but I didn't really catch on to it very much until they were on Jimmy Fallon. So Jimmy Fallon has a segment where he kind of rips on real albums for being really insane. So they ended up sending this to him, which was a great, again, marketing tactic. He interpreted that as a real album, and he kind of really teared into these songs for being absolutely ridiculous, not realizing this was just a marketing stunt. I'll link to that Jimmy Fallon clip below. It's a great watch. So what is this album? I don't like to call it a joke album because the songs are legitimately good. Yes, they have hilarious lyrics with little winks and nods to shopping in a grocery store, but this is legitimately a really fun album, and it really has some banger tracks. This is also a stellarly produced record. I have rare collector super duper edition albums that don't sound near as good as this. It is mastered beautifully. The songs sound fantastic. And I have stuff that, you know, some of those rare albums that I have, it doesn't come close to the production quality of this album. So not just the recording, but the album artwork itself. Again, it's very impressive for what this is supposed to be. On the front cover, we see an image of a banana, which has been part of their branding. I believe it was part of their old logo at some point. So a banana kind of ties into the store. And as well, I think this is a reference to Dandy Warhol's 2003 album Welcome to the Monkey House, and of course Velvet Underground. It comes pressed on this super fresh banana yellow vinyl with an elegantly designed center label. The pressing, like I mentioned, sounds really good. It shouldn't be this good, but it's really extraordinary. It features a nice gatefold with pictures of cakes. This one cake here my mom bought for most of my family birthday parties. And amongst the value-priced but glamour shot cakes is, I don't want to say lyrics, it's more retail poetry. Just to give you a little bit of flavor of some of the tracks, we've got Bananas, Bag It Up, 88 Sale, So Fresh, Low Bills, and of course, A Card Apart. I can't even do justice to these lyrics. You really just need to hear it for yourself. But just for a minute, taking a look at the opening track, Bananas. Bananas, the portable fruit, put them in a smoothie or your cold-pressed juice. Or with Bag It Up, I'm on a haul, I'm saving, no frills. At the mall, free parking. You can buy a bag, but why not save some nickels? You could bring your own bag or buy them individuals. My favorite tracks are 88 Cent, Haulin State of Mind, and the instrumental Holler Anthem, which is a fantastic track. So this is a ridiculous album. It just happens to be incredible. This is one of the most creative marketing campaigns I have seen. So this campaign was executed by an agency called John Street. Their creative director stated that this campaign portrays that feeling, that swagger, that self-satisfaction of buying products at a cheaper price. But what a way to really own your branding and empower your customers with a truly innovative campaign. They are not taking themselves overly seriously, and because of that, they have a seat at the table because they're participating with their customers in an authentic way. So many brands are scared of doing anything risky or silly. They're worried about their reputation. But in this case, they took something as simple as themes associated with a grocery store, and they turned it into a piece of art and frankly, a talking piece. We're talking about it now because they released a silly album. What other grocery store you know has done something like that? I'm sure they're not making money off these albums, but they're getting people talking. This album was $20, by the way. I haven't bought an album that cheap in a decade. So this is truly no frills pricing as well. Do yourself a favor and check out the album. It's a fun listen. I don't think you could order it outside of Canada, but you can listen to it on Spotify. So I left a playlist below. Give it a listen just out of curiosity because it's a fun album. I appreciate when brands take risks and do creative things. And I can't believe that I will continue to spin a discount grocery store themed vinyl album. Stay fresh, my homies. We'll see you next time.